Welcome to the Scottsdale Vibes Podcast. I'm Alicia Haygood. I've said it before, I'm going to say it a million times. 'Tis the season to be giving. And one thing that you see around town all over the place are donation bins, coat drives, clothes drives, socks, toys, everything that, our community members need. We focus a lot on the children and families here, which is a huge need. But I'm excited today to talk to you about Partners for Paiute. We had them on a few years ago. They're an amazing organization here, but run strictly by volunteers, which I wasn't aware of either. So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to hear about them because they really serve the entire community throughout the year, and we're going to hear how they help give back to Scottsdale. So we'll be right back. Buying a home can be scary and sometimes frustrating, but all of that can go away with the right realtor. And that's where Sean Shackleton with the Shackleton Group is here for you. Sean has over 25 years experience in real estate. She's here to get you what you want and won't settle for less. She's experienced, knowledgeable, and understands this market, which these days is always changing. Take the stress out of your next home purchase by calling Sean at 480-734-7277. You can also find her at theshackletongroup.com. As we quickly approach the holiday season, we all know when we see them around town, like I just said, about giving to donations. I love this. We talked to my kids actually about it right before we started recording this a couple days ago about exchanging out a Hanukkah present to a donation gift. I'm going to get teary-eyed. It takes a lot during this season, and some of us are much more fortunate than others. You've known about me that I grew up volunteering a lot and giving back. It means a lot. I teach my kids about it. I focus on it. I try to put a organization every month in the Scottsdale City Lifestyle magazine about it. It's important, and we're so lucky to live in a community that actually cares and has the ability to give back. Which is why I haven't even started the episode. I'm like crying with no tissues, by the way. Which is why I'm excited to have the Partners for Paiute on today. They're an organization that is 100% volunteers, meaning all funds raised go directly to the Scottsdale residents, from housing, food, clothing, educational classes, healthcare, and more. Partners for Paiute organization serves all of those in needs, truly. So today I'm really excited, now that I've calmed down and taken a deep breath, to have board members Mary, Jung, and Mark Hayes. Mary, did I even pronounce your name right? Or is it Jung?
It's Jung like jungle.
Okay, like it's spelled. Okay. Here with us today, they'll probably keep it together more than me because they deal with this on a daily basis. But we really just want to talk about Partners for Paiute as a whole, what the organization's about, and how we as a residents here in Scottsdale can give back to those. So thank you for coming on. Sorry for my moment, but I'm going to get you guys. Don't worry. Let's talk about the whole organization. You all actually do this as a volunteer. You have real jobs, careers that help support you as well. I want to start with you, Mary. I want to talk about how your career got you into Partners for Paiute, because it was really interesting how what you do in the healthcare industry really supports your need to give back with this as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Yes.
We're excited to be here today. You're right. I'm passionate about healthcare and well-being for everyone. Mm-hmm. And that's what brings me to participate in an organization like Partners for Paiute. It does have some roots, supportive roots from Honor Health in the past, and I work for Honor Health now. Okay. And we do have them as a sponsor. But the rest of us, we're all passionate, residents of Scottsdale that understand there is poverty and need in every single one of our zip codes. And this is our grassroots way of giving back in a way that no other organization can.
Yeah, and that's really a valid point, and I wanted to bring that up to both of you. We have amazing organizations throughout the city. You all are not the only ones, and I'm not singling you guys out. We have a lot of help from everything. What makes you all stand out more than the other ones? And Mark, I'll start with you on that one.
I think that...
It's okay. What makes... Mark, what to you makes Partners for Paiute stand out above some of the other organizations that we have here in Scottsdale to help our residents?
What makes us stand out is how quickly we can get funding to people.
Okay.
But also that we're stopgap So we can implement funding at a moment's notice, but we step in when other people can't.
Okay.
So either funds have been exhausted or they're waiting for other funds to come through. As we all know, things take time.
Red tape, I think is the term.
Right? Bureaucracy.
Yes.
So we step in, but we don't have limited parameters where we're just focusing on housing or just focusing on utilities. So we help broad spectrum. So if somebody needs a battery for a wheelchair, or if they kind of fall through the cracks of Medicare and they just need glasses, we've paid for booties for a homeless individual who had a dog that was out on the street. So it's really kind of anything and everything that improves quality of life.
Do you have other organizations here in Scottsdale that be like, hey, like you mentioned, we're out of this, we can't provide this, but this family needs it? Do y'all work very closely together with one another?
So we primarily work through the City of Scottsdale's Human Services.
Okay.
So they actually field the requests and kind of analyze which nonprofit is best for their needs. So they're already working with caseworkers. So we're not just handing out money.
I was like, I'll stand in line. I will give it back to those who need it. I trust me. But if you're just handing things out, you're going to have a line waiting for you when you get back.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Mary, talk about all of the things that Partners for Paiute do. I mentioned just a few because it really is I think the word community center really gives it justice to what you all do.
Right. One thing I would describe our organization's nimble.
Oh, I like that.
We really pivot to what the community needs. And so over time, there's been a number of gaps that have been identified. And so currently there's a number of them. One is this funding emergencies that individuals have that there's no other source of funding for, or the timing is such that they need immediate assistance. And then we have other City of Scottsdale needs related to programming that the city supports, but maybe there's a gap. For example, we may have food provided to school district children, but it doesn't include a meat item over the weekend.
Okay.
So that is something that we can provide as protein and add it to a resource that's already there.
Very nice.
Another gap we've identified as a community together with the City of Scottsdale is English as a second language training available for our residents that includes childcare.
Oh, very nice.
So individuals have more flexibility to come in and learn English skills and be either better employed or fully employed, so that contributes to their well-being and to their life as a resident here in the city, and also helps us in our hospitality industry in particular.
Oh, that's, because that's a hard one. Doesn't come with a lot of insurance, so when health needs and all that kind of stuff comes up.
We really, you're 100% correct. What we're working with individuals that are either living, paycheck to paycheck or have a limited income or fixed income, such as seniors. And that when we know that when individuals miss a paycheck, that really is the difference between food on the table or fixing the car and getting to work.
Yeah, you're right. Mark, the word resident, we keep throwing that around. Is it really you have to have a Scottsdale address? How do you get services from Partners for Paiute?
Well, I myself am not a resident of the city of Scottsdale. I actually live in central Phoenix, but I did grow up here and work here now. But it's literally anybody that's a resident of the city of Scottsdale.
Okay, it is.
So it's not a specific area where we call ourselves Paiute, and we do a lot of work at the Paiute Center, but we service all of Scottsdale.
Okay. How does someone come in and receive services? They just walk in and talk to the front desk, be like, hey, I kind of need some socks or some healthcare. Like, tell me the process of how this works.
Well, we'd love to have a physical building one day, but at the moment, all requests are fielded through Scottsdale Human Services.
Okay.
So any of the neighborhood centers in the city of Scottsdale, if they go to any of those locations, they'll help find the best resources for them, and that's ultimately how they get to us.
Okay. Right now, we're in the month of December. It is a big season of needs. What is right now something that's needed for our community members that you're seeing a large influx of?
That's a very good question.
It's a great question.
And he's like, Mary.
Hey, I can take it. There's two things I would say. Last year and the year before, most of our funding went to eviction prevention.
Okay.
So we acted quickly in a number of cases where resources, as I mentioned, had been exhausted, and we were able to help individuals stay in their home or find an affordable home. Mm-hmm. So that remains still a priority today, given, again, our current economic environment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I would say the next largest item would be those gaps that healthcare providers don't cover. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And that would be including, mobility devices, durable medical equipment, anything that helps our residents get to work or get to a place where they socialize or can enjoy a benefit and contribute to their well-being.
Are your needs a lot of the older demographic, would you say? Or what's your average age that you kind of help?
I mean, it's full spectrum.
Okay.
I mean, you do get some of the older demographic, but they're closer to the Paiute neighborhood where we're actually providing some of the community services. You're getting families.
Okay, that's interesting.
And sometimes multi-generational families.
I love it. As a whole, throughout the year, we always talk about right now, but there are many needs that sometimes we see an influx towards the end of the year for November and December when we really push these. But it's also a time that there's still services needed from January to October, How does someone continue to support Partners for Paiute throughout the year and not during just this time right now, Mark?
Well, the easiest way would be to go on to our website and set up an automatic draft through PayPal to help us continue to provide services throughout the year. Or we actually have a unique setup. We actually have a unique opportunity going on right now where an anonymous donor's actually stepped up to provide over a $20,000 match.
Really?
Exactly.
So you have an anonymous donor who gave $20,000 match if
the donations come from the City of Scottsdale employees.
Okay. So listen up. If you're a City of Scottsdale employee, someone who's a City of Scottsdale employee, you need to tell them about this because this is really interesting and I really want to focus on this because if you just had every employee give a tiny bit of money, it would meet this match. How does it work? When we go to your website, by the way, the website's in the description of this episode. You just click on it, go to their donor page. How do they know if you're a city employee to donate? Is there a special link or anything like that?
No special link. We just need them to leave commentary that they're an employee of the city in the comments.
Okay, so go donate and then put in the comments, I'm awesome, I love to donate, and I'm a Scottsdale City employee, and I'm going to harass my next door mate in my office because he's going to donate now too. Is this what I'm hearing? This is Mark's words, not mine, by the way.
Exactly.
We can go to monthly donations. We can do a one-time donation. Are there anything outside of financial needs that we can go donate items, new, used? How does that work, and how do we do anything like that?
That's a really good point. We do collaborate with a couple of other nonprofits that serve the Scottsdale area, including the City Human Services. Excuse me. And we have an effort that we contribute to, for example, things that are already going on in the city that already provide benefits, and that is we have a food bank in the city of Scottsdale. You can drop off food. That is a particular need this time of year.
Yeah.
Clothing, we do have a clothing bank, so to speak, with a local nonprofit. And we do also have an additional nonprofit that really focuses on children and backpacks and getting ready for school.
Yeah.
And so it really takes all of us to be
Takes
working.
a village.
Right? Takes all of us, and we actually volunteer with the city in those programs.
Okay.
We're not, it's not just about us.
Yeah.
It takes a village, like you said, and it's collaboratory. So how can all of us nonprofits in the city work together and figure out how to meet the needs of our community?
Yeah.
So that's what we're really focused on, and I think this Saturday, Partners of Paiute Board is volunteering at the City of Scottsdale event that features Santa.
Ooh, okay.
And they are having kind of a festival, and it's focused on children. So we're really just about how can we as individuals spread the word, make sure that the few dollars that we have get allocated to the greatest need.
Yeah.
To move the needle.
Well, I love that. And I love how you also talked about working with the other organizations, and that's why it works, is because so many organizations focus on what they need. We have Family Promises, we have Save the Family, we have, Partners for Paiute. Everyone serves a different niche, and when you work together, we can serve more of our community members. And that's actually one question I asked all the city council candidates when they were running, is like, how are you going to work with our homeless and our needed population? It's everywhere you go in the nation, you're not excluded from it. It's how we handle it. Scottsdale's very lucky in the resources that we have, and not a huge demographic of homelessness, but we do come together to always serve our own and take care of our own, and I'm very proud of that, and I want to emphasize that is because of you, each and every day giving back.
And how fortunate are we that we are involved with a city that's willing to help bring these resources from different nonprofits together and assist us. We wouldn't have the ability to service the community and be as nimble as we are without the communication and the assistance with the city of Scottsdale.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I agree. It takes a village and it takes a community to come together for this.
And we're creative. Excuse me. We're creative. The fact that we had one individual that was provided medical services by one group. One group helped her with transportation. Another group helped get to those doctor's appointments. And another group provided the resources to make her home a more safe place for her and her children.
Yeah.
So it's really, fortunately, like I said, again, the word of the day is nimble.
Yeah, I like
We're
it.
creative, and we just figure out how can we best move the needle with these individuals and get them back to work or get them back to health.
And Mary's being humble here. Her and her husband literally picked up this individual to take her to her doctor's appointments, both before the surgery and after. So
That person that helped the resource
yes,
was Mary.
that would be the other group.
Thanks for calling her out. I appreciate that.
It felt important.
Thank you, Mark. I'm just very proud that.
But it does take just
neighbors
one
back at
simple
work.
thing, right? Like it does take just one simple thing. And if we all can do one simple task, that's where this goes a long way. I tell everyone, I was like, sometimes I'll catch someone's eye at the grocery store and I smile, right? I've had a random stranger be like, can I just have a hug because I smiled at them? You don't know how a simple, very simple, thing like that can change a person's perspective. So imagine what like driving them to the doctor's appointments could do and stuff like that. It changes a person's life. So if you have an hour a day to do something as simple as that, that's a change of their whole, that could change everything about their, path forward in life. And I think that's...
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
I think that a common challenge that Scottsdale has is that people just assume because Scottsdale has a large wealth base with its residents that it doesn't have challenges with homelessness or poverty or that children are going hungry. And it's really important to shine a light on that this impacts all communities, whether you're low income or high income. All of these challenges are there. So it's really important to shine a light on that and to support the fellow nonprofits as well as the city as we try to stamp out those problems one at a time.
You think it'll ever be fixed?
No.
I don't either.
No.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we don't try, though.
Yeah, realistically, right? In that sense. Thank you for what you do. I did get it together. We'll end on a high note. For someone who grew up here, I'm kind of backtracking, but how have you seen it change in a positive way from when you were a child to how you're giving back now as an adult?
Well, I think kind of taking us back to your first question, Mary, I grew up in a household that had really good times and had really challenging times. My mom ended up on Social Security and had restricted income and so on. So a lot of the nonprofits that we work with would have been incredibly helpful to her. And it's important for me to give back and to come at it with that sense of humility and understanding that it's incredibly hard to ask for help. So going back to your question, I think that there's a lot more organizations, there's a lot more assistance, certainly from the city side, in assisting with those programs and pairing people up so that they can get the help that they need, so that they can stay on their own 2 feet, so they can be independent and not be reliant.
And I want people to remember, and thank you for bringing that up. It is very hard to ask for help. Think about you and your career sometimes. And even for me, it's hard to ask for help in what I do. For them to ask, that has to be the lowest point in their life, that most people don't take these for granted. They're not out there taking advantage. And I don't want us to focus on that, very small percentage of families or individuals that do that. That's not what we're here for. These people are very gracious. These people really appreciate it. And I think that's important to point out, is this is not just a freebie. This is something that you all choose for a reason, because it's going to service the community back in a positive way to have them be able to be a part of our community in that sense.
It's a really good point, because part of the mission of the social workers in the city, and ours as well with Partners of Paiute, is how do we move from this vulnerable state to one of sustainability. So the goal is always to help with an eye towards how can this individual or family sustain their life going forward, so we don't see them again.
Right. That's the whole goal.
And sometimes we do. 6 months later, circumstances can happen that way. But the idea is, how do we get this family or individual to a point of sustainability?
Yeah, I love it. Before we leave, Mary, I'll start with you. What is your favorite Scottsdale vibe?
Oh, Scottsdale vibe.
I know. See, I never tell anyone this question, and then I have newbies like you on. They're like, "What? I didn't prepare. Good. That's what I wanted to hear, Mary.
My Scottsdale vibe."
And now Mark gets time to think about it.
I need it. I need all the time.
I just love living here.
Yeah.
I love the outdoors. I feel safe.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm welcome everywhere. And that is the vibe to me.
I love that. I feel that way too, yeah.
And I love seeing people, our tourists that keep our economy humming, enjoying themselves. And I love looking up in the sky and seeing the mountains and the preserve.
Ah, it's gorgeous. Very lucky to live here. Don't take that for granted. Yeah, try to beat that, Mark. Go ahead.
I hate favorites, so I'm going to go with 2.
Okay.
My favorite Scottsdale vibe is the overall sense of community. And that sense of community comes from the residents that are here. It comes from the travelers that come into the city. It comes from the workers that are here. Everybody has a sense of pride in the city of Scottsdale, which makes our jobs, both daytime and our volunteer work, so much easier. The second thing that I wanted to say is I really enjoy utilizing all of the restaurants and entertainment that our tourists pay for the rest of the year when they're not here.
Yes.
So thank you. Please keep going.
I love it. Well, thank you all so much. Go look up partnersforpaiute.org. Again, the description is on this episode. When we get back, I will have the calendar of events, so stay tuned. When it comes to protecting you, your family, and all your assets, you need to have someone that you can trust, and that's Jeremy Mueller of State Farm Insurance. Jeremy Mueller has lived in Scottsdale his whole life. How can anyone else know your needs more than someone who's been here and seen it all? Jeremy and his team are always ranked in the top % at State Farm. He cares, he's knowledgeable, and most importantly, he's always available. Don't believe me? Give him a call at 480-515-52 23 or find him at jeremymueller.com. Okay, I mean, let's be real. The only thing that's really going on this month are all the holiday events. From Hanukkah to Christmas, there's plenty out there to celebrate, so I wish you all the best of the holiday season. Go check out Scottsdale. Every week they're having multiple events. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. Go sign up because some of them will sell out. Otherwise, we have the Phoenix Zoo Lights, the Christmas at the Princess. JW Marriott's doing a Christmas event this year. The McCormick-Stillman Railroad has an amazing event. Scottsdale Quarter, Carolyn Commons, Old Town Scottsdale restaurants. I think that's it. No, it's definitely not it. There's so much going on. Check out experiencescottsdale.com. They have all the lists of events from what's going on at the hotels to individual restaurants and more. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Keep vibing, and I'll see you around town.